The marathoners. The around-the-blockers. The elite. The local heroes. The social butterflies. The fast. The slow. And everyone in between. Forerunner for runners. From Garmin.
Hello everyone, my name is JC Igos, your Garmin Run Club coach and your host for today. Welcome to our first session of Garmin Philippines All You Need to Know series, where we will help you select the most suitable Garmin product from our different categories like running, activity tracking, outdoor solar powered watches, and cycling. Today's session will be all about Garmin's running smartwatches, which is the Garmin Forerunner series. As a runner and a coach myself, I am definitely very passionate about the topic today because I believe this session will be quite helpful for everyone looking to get a quality running watch. We have invited our Garmin Community Manager, Mr. Edwin Shen, to share with us more about the Forerunner series. Hi, Edwin. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're ready to get started. If you have any questions, just feel free to message us in the chat box and we will address them after Edwin sharing. Edwin, take it away.
Thank you. All right, before I start, just let me introduce the different watches. You might have seen Coach JC's watch on his wrist. That was the Forerunner 55. I have with me the Forerunner 245 that is here. Okay, 245. Coming in many colors. And then we have our 745. 745, slightly bigger. All right. And we have our premium triathlon watch, the 945. All right. So just let me go through my slides right now so I can introduce to you our entire Forerunner family. All right. Here we go. All right. So this is our Garmin Forerunner family. We have a Forerunner 55. Feature pack, easy to use GPS running watch. And I have to tell you that it's a major upgrade compared to the previous Forerunner 45. So if you're looking out for a new watch, you just started running and you're looking for good features, this is the one to look out for. Fantastic watch that JC is using right now. If you're a little bit more intermediate in running, you are looking at 10Ks, 21Ks, even full marathons, then maybe the 245 is for you, right? We have more advanced training features for 245, very suited for the more serious runners, right? Then we move on to the 745, which I'm having right now. This will be a beginner triathlon watch. It has whatever the 245 has. It's a very good watch. If you're looking at triathlons, multi-sport features, 745 is something to go for. And if you are the Ironman, right, you are looking for performance, you are looking to get your best PB in Ironman races, then the 945 is the one for you, right? We have everything that you can think of, all the Garmin features, all in the 945, all right? So that is something you can consider. All right, so this is a brief introduction of Garmin Forerunner family. Next, I'll run on through the different running features. All right. Okay, just a brief introduction first before I start introducing the different features. Firstbeat and Garmin. Some of you may have heard of Firstbeat, some of you may not. So what Firstbeat does, okay, Firstbeat is a research company. They've done a lot of heart rate variability research for 20 years, right? So what they do is they do all this research and put this research into meaningful, understandable stats for us. That's how you see all our widgets, all our running features later on. It's actually mostly from Firstbeat, right? So what they do is they provide advanced performance analytics for stress, for recovery, and for exercise. All this technology is embedded into all our Garmin fitness devices. It's not just about testing. It's not about just research. They put them to good use as well, and they put them to good use to professional teams, professional sports teams, such as Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester City, NBA, Golden State Warriors, and over the half of the NHL, which is the National Hockey League in the USA, right? So they are tested, proven, driven by the pro athletes. And in 2020, Garmin acquires Firstbeat Analytics. So right now, whatever technology that you see on a Garmin watch It's First Beat, and we own the technology right now. Okay, moving on, the different features of the running watches, right? Moving on, you can see all these small little boxes here in the next few slides. You can see which watch has the different features that's available, right? Okay, so first of all, VO2 max, as we all know, or the more serious runners would know, VO2 max is something that you need to be tested in a laboratory. But unfortunately, not all of us have this privilege. Not all of us have that kind of technology to actually go there, and sometimes it can cost quite a bit. So what we have right here, it may not be as accurate as the actual VO2 max testing machine, but it is good enough for our everyday usage, for the everyday runners, right? So what it does, it actually gives you your current fitness level. It tells you your current fitness level. So you're looking at the range towards your right. The higher the number, the better it is, right? You can track your changes over time. If you run more, rest, you probably see an increased level in your VO2 max. If you didn't exercise for a week, 2 weeks, then you probably see these numbers drop, right? So the more you run, the more you adjust to your current fitness level as well as rest. And how fast you run equals how hard your body is working, all right? Okay, this is another feature that is quite unique to Garmin. So what we have is performance condition. So what it tells you in the first 6 to 20 minutes during your run, what it does, it actually tells you how well you're going to perform for your current run. If you see a positive number here, most likely you're going to get a very good timing on your current run. If you see 0, most likely it's no change. If you see a negative figure, most likely your current run may not be very good. You may be too fatigued, you may be too tired, you may be overtraining, or you may not be training for the past few days or maybe over the past few weeks, right? So what this feature tells you is how you're going to perform on this current run, right? So this gives you an early indication on whether you're going to feel tired early or you're going to feel tired later on, right? So it gives you instant feedback, at least for the first 6 to 20 minutes. Next, training effect. As we run, as we train, we all want to know what type of exercise we're doing. So for every run workouts that you do or any run activity that you record, all your runs will be recorded based on these two metrics, right? So it's either an aerobic run or an anaerobic run. For those of you who are not sure what aerobic, anaerobic is, simply put, aerobic exercise is more on your endurance runs, long distance, slow, long distance, whereas your anaerobic will be your 100%, 101% sprint, all-out efforts, right? So that's the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. So for every run that you do that is safe, your watch will computate for you and tell you what type of run you are focused on, right? So it ranges from 0 to 5 for each category. So in this instance here, you see a aerobic 4.0 and an anaerobic 2.5. This actually means that this run is more towards endurance run compared to a all-out sprint, right? Why do I see a 2.5 here if it's an endurance run? Well, maybe I'm running towards a traffic light. I'm rushing towards a traffic light. That's the little sprint there. That's why maybe you probably see a little bit of an anaerobic exercise here. All right. So what's so useful for this? This is very useful for us so that we can tailor our training accordingly. I can go for endurance run today or aerobic run today. Tomorrow, or I'll take a rest. The following day, I can go for a sprint, anaerobic run. Why are we doing all this? So that we can improve and maybe go even faster, right? So that's training effect. Training load is something that the watch computate for you to see how much you have been training, all right? So if you look at this green band over here, it says that you are training optimally. You are good. If you see an arrow towards the blue side, means you're not training enough, too little training. If you see the arrow pointing towards the red, means you are training too much, all right? So what it does is we use this term called exercise post-oxygen consumption to calculate all these numbers for you. You don't have to know how the numbers are. You don't need to know what these numbers mean, but all you need to know is how much you have been training over the past 7 days. All right. Right, training status, your current training status, how much you have trained, whether is it for good use, is it working or not, right? If I go and run a 5K every day, does it improve my run, right? If I go do a 10K every day, does it improve my run? Yes and no. It depends on how much or what type of exercise you're doing for each activity. So this training status can actually help you tell you your current training status, right? To show you how effective your current training is, right? So there are many different training status. These are the the words most likely you'll see. Peaking is something that everybody is looking forward to. We want to peak at our marathon days or our competition days. You want to be productive all the time. You're maintaining your running constantly at a specific pace, a specific momentum. Recovery means you're probably not running so much. Unproductive, body not recovering. This can happen if you run every day without any rest. Detraining, not enough training. Overreaching, too much training, right? So sometimes I use training status to push myself. If I see unproductive and I realize I haven't been running for the past few days, okay, it's time to move today. All right, so you can use this to help you as well. Okay, some of you may ask, sometimes how come my training status are not updated, right? So just take note, indoor activity, trail run profile at this point of time does not generate a VO2 max measurement, meaning you probably will not see any change here. So it has to be outdoor. You have to be 70% of your max heart rate for at least 10 minutes twice a week in order to see your training status change. In other words, to put it simply, just go ahead and run. All right, you'll be fine. All right. Recovery time, I think this is a very useful feature. We train, but we don't rest, right? And now the watch will tell you to rest, right? For those of you who get the newer watches, the Forerunner 55 and the 745, when you see your daily suggested workout, they actually tell you, if you've been training too much, they actually tell you to rest. No training for today, right? So otherwise, after every single activity, your watch will tell you how many hours you need to rest, or if you are doing a very hard effort, it may actually tell you how many days to rest, right? So it actually tells you that you've been doing so much, please rest, recover, so your muscles can have some downtime to recover so that you can perform better on your next exercise, right? Very important as well, recovery also reduces injury risk. And this is something that we don't want it to happen, because once we have an injury, you'll be out for a week, a few days, and you can't even run anymore, right? So recovery time, very useful feature. All right, next we have virtual run. For those of you on Zwift, you don't need any other sensors. All you need is all these watches that is stated here, and you have a Zwift account. Just hop on a treadmill and just go to virtual run and just pair it to Zwift. That's all. Okay, you don't really need any other sensors. For those of you who do not know what Zwift is a third-party app that helps you create an avatar. So you'll be running in London, you'll be running in Paris, you'll be running in France, you'll be running on Zwift's own world called Watopia, right? So very useful feature. You don't need any other sensors. Okay, track run. We've received some feedback as well. For those, before we had this feature, some people say that our GPS is not accurate in the track, right? Because our GPS is pinpointing everywhere else, right? So what we have done is we improved the GPS coverage on all these watches that you see. It has track run feature. So instead of seeing all these orange line and the red lines that goes all over the place in terms of GPS plots, what you have now, it's a very nice line here, and this yellow line here. We see a very nice outline of the track, and this is what it will give you. It's more accurate right now when you run your laps, right? So for those of you doing track activities, track runs, track laps, this is a very useful feature to have. Right, let's move on. Race predictor. This is a feature that actually tells you what, based on your activities, based on your running so far, what is your predicted time that you will finish. Okay. Some of you may feel that it's not very close to what you actually do. It's actually maybe about 10% better than what you can do. So you can always treat this as a goal for you to reach, right? So it gives you your predicted race timing for 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon, right? Do take note, race predictor is just an estimate. It doesn't take into factor such as weather, cost, difficulty, and your training regimen. So do take note of that. It is just an estimate for you to finish. Right. Pace Pro. For those of you who run marathons, long distance, endurance runs, if you go to Race Expo, you probably get bands like this. Sometimes they will ask you to buy, right? Back then you have to get this band so that you know within the first kilometer I need to finish by 7 minutes 38 second. Kilometer 15, so on and so forth, right? You need to follow the time here if you want to finish in 3 hours 20 minutes, right? But now you don't have to get the band. If you have a Garmin watch, preferably Forerunner 55 and above, You can configure on your Garmin Connect. Just key in your goal time that you want to finish. And what you will do, it will actually beep to tell you if you're running too fast or running too slow. I've tested this myself in the Singapore Marathon 2 years ago. Very useful feature, right? They actually tell me, am I keeping within my pace, if I should run faster to hit my goal. So it gives me an extra motivation, I mean, you're running too slow, you need to run a bit faster. So I push myself if I want to finish within a time goal that I've set myself. All right, so all you have to do is listen to your watch. Right, we have Garmin Coach as well. So for those of you who are very new to running and you need some guidance, all you have to do is go to Garmin Connect, sync your watch there. Go to training. There is a Garmin Coach training plan for you. We have 3 coaches based in the USA. They have come out with training plans that suit your needs, right? So let's say I want to do a 5K. I would just want to finish. They have training plan tailored for me, very individualized. Based on your workout, the training plan will adjust accordingly. All right. So it's all planned for you. All you have to do again is just listen to your watch. All right. So that's Garmin Coach. Okay, so these are all the running features that I've introduced so far. These are the different features that different watches would have. Of course, if you had the 745 or 945, you pretty much have all the features that I've just mentioned. All right. Okay, talking about health, let's go a little bit on the features of health. Heart rate, I think it's a staple for most smartwatches right now. Most smartwatches would have heart rate monitoring right now. Why are people tracking their heart rate? A few reasons: improve performance, check whether if your training is effective. And I think the most important in our current situation during this pandemic is to guard against any health problems, right? So we can simply check whether if our resting heart rate is higher than usual, right? So how to know if my heart rate is higher than usual? Just a generic guide. Resting heart rate should be 60 to 100 beats per minute. Nothing more than that. Anything more, you have to get it checked, right? So what is resting heart rate? I'm sitting in front of the TV with my popcorn. Check your heart rate. That is your resting heart rate, right? Don't check when you're munching on popcorn. Check when you're just watching TV, right? Okay, so generally a lower heart rate at rest implies, more efficient heart function, better cardiovascular fitness. Okay. Respiration tracking, just to let you know, your watch can also measure how many breaths you take per minute, right? So in the olden days, in previous time, we have to do this, right? This is checking pulse, but sometimes you can check your respiration. Respiration resting rate is between 12 to 20 minutes. Intense physical activities, 40 to 50 times per minute. Why are we tracking our respiration rate? How often that we breathe, so that you're familiar, so you can monitor changes over time. If you're sitting down and you realize you're breathing too much or too fast, that is a concern, right? So you can get it checked. Okay, pulse ox, SpO2. What is SpO2? SpO2 measures your blood oxygen level, right? It shows how well your body is absorbing oxygen, right? So we have this feature from Forerunner 245 onwards. You can actually measure how well your body is absorbing oxygen, right? So you can access your physical condition, formulate fitness goals, and decide your appropriate training intensity. Okay, normal reading is between 94 to 99%. To take note, this is not a medical device. This is just an estimate. It's a good estimate. Any point of time you feel that you don't feel right, check your SpO2. If it falls below 94, 92%, go and see a doctor, right? It's an indication already, all right? Okay, sleep monitoring. Can our watch monitor sleep? Yes, it can. Common question, do I need to wear the watch to sleep? Answer is yes, you need to wear the watch to sleep so that it can monitor your sleeping patterns, right? So you have many different sleep stages and your watch can actually do that for you, right? So your watch can actually measure how deep you sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, okay, REM, as well as how many minutes you're awake throughout the night, right? So there are different variables that will affect your sleeping pattern, your heart rate variability, how often you breathe, respiration rate, how many times you move during the night, the time of the day, and information you provide about yourself when you register in Garmin Connect. Question. If you look at this chart here, if you can put in your comments, I'm just going to go this very quickly. Do you think this person sleep very well? Okay, just looking at this chart here, do you think this person sleep very well? right? Okay, I repeat my question one more time before I shout out the answer. Do you think this person sleep very well? Okay, you can see some variables here. Okay, okay, I'll jump straight to the answer right now. The answer is no. Why? Because this person has been awake 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times during the night, right? So I'll ask you the question: if you wake up 6 times during the night, do you think you had a very good sleep? Okay, you may or you may not. Okay, so these are the things your watch can help you measure. Stress, right? So your watch can help you monitor how stressed you are throughout the day. At any point of time that you want to check your stress level on the watch, there's a stress widget. You can just look at it. If you see your stress level very high, your watch can actually tell you, do you want to take a 3-minute breather? And they will actually tell you to do a 3-minute breathing exercise, right? So this is a good thing to have as if you are living in a very stressful situation. Okay. Other than that, you can look at throughout the day, right? You can see this person here is so stressed in the morning. Why? Maybe because rushing to work, the boss starts calling, there's a meeting in the morning, blah, blah, blah. Well, there are things you can change. I wake up earlier so I don't rush to work, right? So these are the things you can look at when you are looking at your stress level throughout the day. Okay. Body battery is something unique to Garmin. It's a unique feature that we have. What it does, it monitors your current energy levels, right? So you can see this person sleep, right? If you had good sleep, you probably charge up to 100%, right? So the max is 100%. And throughout the day, of course, you go to work, you go and exercise, you meet people, you travel to work, blah, blah, blah. You use up energy and you can see your energy levels depleting, right? So at this point of time, you can just look what my current energy level is right now. So you can consider whether you want to go and exercise after work or do something else. And if you see it 10%, you see something that's low, you may consider, oh, let's end the day here. I'll go back, rest and chill, right? So it gives you your current energy levels numbers, right? Steps. Okay, I think it's another staple feature that most smartwatches will have, but what ours can do is not only count your steps, it tells you your calories burned and actually how your total distance you walk throughout the day. So this is just an estimate. 14,000 steps would most likely translate to almost 12 kilometers of walking, right? So it actually even detects your hourly step count. So you know throughout the day which hour you do more walking, right? Okay, I believe this will be my last slide. For those of you who are interested in losing weight, this could be a feature for you. This is called a calories burn counter. So resting calories, it's by default. This number will not change, and it's based on your age, gender, your height, and your weight. So this number will not change, right? 1,904. This is for my stats, right? Based on my age, my gender, my height, and my weight. Okay. And next, the more exercise I do, the more calories I burn, right? So this is the amount of calories I burn for that given day. So I add my active calories plus my resting calories. I will have a total of 3,147 calories burned for August 24th, 2020. As long as I don't eat more than 3,147 calories during the day, I maybe seem to be losing weight. And if I can keep this on a consistent basis over time, maybe a couple of months, most likely you'll see some weight loss. All right, so this is a feature that you may consider to have in your widgets. All right, that was my last slide. Over back to you, Coach JC.
All right. Thank you, Edwin, for the amazing presentation. We have certainly learned a lot more about the Garmin Forerunner series. For me, I personally like the FR55, like this one, because it may be light and small, but it contains all the basic data that I need for my workouts. I can also customize my runs according to my goals for the session, whether it's a tempo run or just my usual easy runs. I can easily set my target pace, a distance, or even my target heart rate zone. Um, the best part here is the availability of the Pace Pro feature as well. If you haven't heard it, guys, this one of the upgrades from the FR45, wherein you can set the target pace per kilometer through the Garmin Connect app. A very helpful feature when you're up for a 5K, 10K, or even when you're just gunning for a PR. And also the live track. This enables me to put my email of my family members or close friends through the Garmin Connect app, for them to be able to know where my exact location in case of emergency. And this feature can also be used for racing events as well. If you're an organizer, this will be helpful. Um, okay, that's enough with my sharing. Edwin, since you are here, I just have some questions to ask you.
Sure.
Okay, first question. What's your personal favorite among all the features of the FR55 or any Forerunner that you use?
Um, I think the new feature for 455 I like would be just now as I mentioned the recovery advisor. For every workout that you do, it actually tells you how many hours or how many days that you should rest. I think resting is very important. It should be part of
Yeah.
any training regime. Another one will be a daily suggested workout that's currently available on Forerunner 55 and Forerunner 745. So what it does is you don't need to preload anything. All it has to do is you just go out for your runs, and over the next 2 weeks, your first 2 weeks, the watch will actually tabulate and give you a suggested workout based on what you have done previously. So I think that's a very smart feature, very interesting to have.
Okay, that's a nice answer. Oh, so number two is what can you say about the Garmin Forerunner series new optical wrist heart rate sensors versus the leading chest strap monitors? Do you think that the new wrist optical HR sensors can match the accuracy of the chest strap based HR sensors?
Hmm. I think, in all honesty, chest strap will always be more accurate because it's closer to your heart, right? However, some people do not like to wear chest strap because it's quite inhibiting for some people, right? So, I would think that the wrist sensor is good enough. Why I say that? Because if you were to measure our resting heart rate on a daily basis, it's not really practical to wear the chest strap throughout the day, right? So the wrist heart rate, I think it's good enough. I use that to monitor on a daily basis. I use it on my runs. I don't wear chest strap during my runs. So I think the wrist-based heart rate is it's good enough. It's good for everyday people, So I think it's decent for anybody to have this kind of technology just on the wrist.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Okay, now it's time to answer some questions from our audience. We do have some questions in the chat. From JC Neo Lanuzo. What can you recommend for the kids? What for runners you watch?
For kids, we have the
Yeah.
kids version. So depend on how old your kid is. Um, if you're looking at young kids, we have Vivo Active Junior 3. That's something they can consider. In terms of maybe older kids, you're looking at maybe a teenager that's looking for track and field racing competition. So maybe the 55 I think is very good enough. It's very decent. Forerunner 245 can be another good starting point depending on how serious the kid is in terms of competition wise.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. Next question is from Joseph David H. Lopez. Is 245 still a good buy for 2021 or 2022?
Well, I think 245. If you heard the 235 back then, the 235 has been a very good staple for a very long time. And I believe the 245 has improved a lot compared to the 235 previously. If you ask me, is it good enough? I would say yes, because of all the features that you will get from a Forerunner 245. If you are looking for marathons, for training, yes, all the metrics that you really need in terms of serious running. So I think 245 is still very decent to have.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. Another question from Miss Dot Campos. If I'm planning to train for my first marathon, which Forerunner watch should I get?
Okay. If you are training for a full marathon, then I would suggest 245. 245, like I mentioned, you have your Garmin coach, you have all your training features, you have everything that you need, your workouts. You can download workouts on Garmin Connect as well. Yeah, 245, it's, to be honest, a very good staple. for running full marathons. Back then, like I mentioned, 235 was a very good one. I used 235 way back for my first few marathons, and yeah, 245 is a lot better than a 235. So yeah, definitely 245 is something you can start off with.
Yeah, okay, guys. I hope all of your questions are answered by our Garmin Community Manager. Thank you so much, Edwin, for your time today. And thank you all for tuning in to our first episode of All You Need to Know About Garmin Series. I hope that you've learned a lot more about the Forerunner series in our first episode, and that this will be able to help you choose which running watch is best for you. For me, this is the best watch for me, the FR55. So we have exclusive Garmin vouchers. You may check out the codes on the screen and in the Facebook comment section. Only through kinetic.com.ph. We also have same delivery and free nationwide delivery without any minimum spend. So guys, make sure to grab this good deal while it lasts. To find out more about the Garmin product range, you may visit the Garmin official website, that is ph.garmin.com. Again, ph.garmin.com. And once you have decided which Garmin Forerunner to purchase, you can do so through all of our Garmin official stores, kinetic.com.ph, Lazada, Shopee, and Garmin PH Viber community. Also, I would like to take this chance to invite you to join the Garmin Run Club Philippines on the Garmin Sports app, Strava, and our Viber group. We are starting our second season soon, so you are all welcome to join. So that's it for our first episode of Garmin All You Need to Know series. Stay tuned for the next one on October 28th, and the next episode will be about Garmin's activity tracking and wellness range with products like the Venu 2, Venu SQ, and Lily. And last but not the least, don't forget to follow our Garmin PH Facebook page for the latest updates. Thank you. Continue to stay safe, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye, guys. Bye, Edwin.
Bye. Thank you. Run safe.
See you guys. Stay safe.
The marathoners, the around the blockers, the elite, the local heroes, the social butterflies, the fast, the slow, and everyone in between. Forerunner for runners from Garmin.